Absolutely amazing. And 1 month ago today, isn't that, it seems like a year. And it seems in certain quarters like it's been forgotten. Actually, a lot of folks would like us to forget about this moment. And if we do that, it could happen again. This was special, really, really special. Corey Comparator lost his life. 2 people very seriously wounded. President Trump almost died. A remarkable conversation last night between Elon Musk, of all people, and President Trump. They spoke about this, and a lot of other things. It was this point that Elon made off the top, though, that I thought was spot on. I never thought of it this way, though.
I think your actions in the heat of fire, and like what I found admirable there was that you can't fake bravery under such circumstances. The courage is instinctual, or it is not. It's not a rehearsed action. And so I just want to say that I think a lot of people admire your courage under fire there. And
well,
so
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You can't fake bravery. Never thought of it that way. That's why a lot of Democrats and the culture in general would like us to forget this. They can't say Donald Trump is all talk, it's just bluster. No. We saw bravery. And we had a remarkable 2 hours with President Trump last night, thanks to Elon Musk. 1 billion people listened to this, a 2-hour conversation. And it was just that. It doesn't have to be adversarial. This is how Elon started it. He's a brilliant engineer, more on him in a moment, but he's also like a regular guy. And he said what he wanted to do with the president.
it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. It's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way. And when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. So this is really aimed at kind of open-minded, independent voters who just trying to make up their mind. So you can understand like what is what is it just like to have a conversation? So honored to Donald, great to speak.
Just a casual conversation. He's a little bit nervous there. It's not the most polished thing in the world. It's authentic, and we love it. The polished interviewers, right? The ones who, come in guns blazing. We don't need that anymore.
So the biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
Well, there's no real evidence of that.
Of course there is. It's all over the place. Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? This is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
Clinton never accepted him.
She conceded on him. She conceded on him.
Doesn't accept him, and we're lower than the world.
Lower than the world.
Here's case death. You can't do that. You have
Why can't I do that?
You have to go.
They saw this happening, and he went to the Attorney General of the United States, and he told them, indict Trump.
There's just no evidence of that, Mr.
Why?
President.
Because you mean
but let's stay on track.
Look at all the lies he's told.
Mr. President, I want to talk.
And they get points. They get points with their friends. They get points with their bosses for being a jerk to President Trump and saying things that they don't know to be fact. When you're the president of the United States or a former president of the United States, you actually know a lot more than most people. It's true. All right, back to Elon Musk and this very special thing. They call it Twitter Spaces or X Spaces, sorry. He is an American citizen. He became one in 2002. Brilliant guy, although he did drop out of a graduate program at Stanford after 2 days, kind of like that. Next, please. He is worth $241 billion. SpaceX, Tesla, that's all him. And he bought Twitter for $44 billion, sorry. And he's going to vote for Trump. Back to the conversation they had. He's kind of not afraid to ask questions that he might not know the answer to and explain things that need explaining. I thought this was great.
A lot of people just don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from government overspending because the checks never bounce when it's written by the government. So if the if the government spends far more than it brings in, that increases the money supply. And if the money supply increases faster than the rate of goods and services, that's inflation. So really, we need to have we need to reduce our government spending, and we need to re-examine. I think we need like a government efficiency commission to say like, hey, where are we spending money that's sensible? Where is it not sensible?
Right.
And we need to live within our means. We're currently adding, I think, $1 trillion to the deficit roughly every 100 days.
That's right.
And the interest payments on the national debt have now exceeded the defense budget. It's on the order of $1 trillion.
It's interest,
and it keeps growing.
I rebuilt our military, largely rebuilt our military. Did a great job on it, which was so important. We had jets, we had fighters that were. And bombers that were 70 years old. And we did a great job in that. Then we gave 85 billion of it back to Afghanistan, if you can believe it. We gave them 85 billion. They're one of the largest sellers of military equipment in the world. They're selling what we gave them. That was one of the most embarrassing days in the history of our country. But if you think about, let's go back to the economy. We have to bring energy prices down. Energy started at the price of gasoline. Now, your cars don't require too much gasoline, so you have a good, and you do make a great product. I have to say, I have to be honest with you.
Thank you.
A lot of this we have heard before. You've heard it, I've heard it, but there are a lot of people who don't follow politics. They might be independent. They might even be some Democrats who are not thinking about voting for Trump, and maybe they will. 1 billion people across the world, tens of millions of people in this country. By the way, you got to get X, all right? It's very easy to do. It's not a problem. Couple of more. This reinvention, this fake reinvention of Kamala. Elon Musk is all over it.
There's no respect for the United States of America with these people. And I'm telling you, you'll be worse than him because she's a believer in being radical left, and he wasn't.
I think you're right. I mean, it's important for the public that may be listening to this to look at Kamala's track record, before the last month, and say, is that a track record you agree with? And I think if you're an independent moderate, you definitely would not agree with it, because it is her behavior has been far left, and we're seeing just an overnight propaganda attempt to rewrite history and make it sound like Kamala's moderate when she in fact is not moderate.
Yeah, she's not moderate at all. It's amazing what's happening. They're reinventing her as if this stuff didn't happen, as if she wasn't in the administration and actually responsible for destroying our border. How many people came across, right? We have no idea. Tens of millions, thanks to her and Joe. How about this transgender mess, right? And bringing those people to the White House and sexualizing children. Afghanistan, they talked about that. The withdrawal from Afghanistan. Fake news covered that for about a day. The strategic implications will be with us for centuries. And crime, they say with a straight face that crime is going down in America. This is also another brilliant point. Never thought of it this way, but the president of the United States should be a guy who intimidates people. That's a good thing.
Doesn't make any sense. It's inconsistent. Certainly But I mean, I think it's just worth emphasizing, to listeners, the immense importance of whether the United States president is intimidating or not intimidating, and how much that matters to global security, because there's some real tough characters out there, and if they don't think the American president is tough, they will do what they want to do.
I know every one of them.
And that puts the whole world in danger.
Elon, I know every one of them, and I know them well. I know Putin, I know President Xi, I know Kim Jong-un of North Korea. I know every one of them. And let me tell you, people will say, oh, this is terrible. He said, I'm not saying anything good or bad. They're at the top of their game. They're tough, they're smart, they're vicious, and they're going to protect their country, whether they love their country. They probably do. It's just a different form of love, but they're going to protect their country. But these are tough people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala or when they see Biden, Sleepy Joe, they can't even believe it.
Think about that. Kamala on the world stage representing America, being in a room with Putin or Kim Jong-un. And the fact that we had a guy not on top of his game for the past 4 years, and Joe Biden and the media, the entire culture covered it up. All right, Elon has made it official before, but he reiterates his endorsement of President Trump.
I mean, thank you. And well, I mean, I just say here, here's to an exciting, inspiring future that people can look forward to and be optimistic and excited about what happens next. And that's the kind of future that I think you will bring as president, and that's why I endorse you.
Well, I appreciate that. That endorsement meant a lot to me. Not all endorsements mean that much, to be honest. Your endorsement meant a lot. And, we have a phrase, make America great again. It's pretty simple, but it really says that we want to make America great again. And we can do it. We can do it now. But if we were going to suffer another 4 years like we've suffered for the last 4 years, I'm not sure the country can ever come back. That's how bad it is. It's so bad.
Musk makes it clear that he hasn't been that political throughout his life. He described himself at one point as a moderate Democrat. You can hear he's a common sense kind of guy. Again, 1 billion people across the planet listening to this thing that is huge, that is threatening big time to Democrats, to the deep state, and maybe even Fox News. Couldn't believe it. Fox. There's some good guys over there, but you know what they said about this? They made fun of it because it was a failure to launch. The thing was delayed by 20 minutes, and that's all they did. With the liberals as well, harped on it that it was 20 minutes delayed. You know how many times they delayed the Apollo 11 rocket? A whole bunch of times. You had a delay for lightning, you had a delay for this, that, and the other thing. It's okay. All right, so we had a conversation between two true giants, and then we have her.
Because as the saying goes, if you've got something to say, say it to my face.
Now, that's not the only message. No, I was wrong. There's this.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk. Or as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it.
I mean, they have no shame, right? After what she presided over, right? Now their excuse is, well, she wasn't really the border czar. No. She just went to South America a few times. Wow. 1 billion people watched, and guess what this administration wanted to do? In fact, a good chunk of the globalist kind of control group wanted to cancel this thing. They wanted to take it offline before it even started. Washington Post, this is an actual reporter for the Washington Post in the White House.
Elon Musk is slated to interview Donald Trump tonight on X. I don't know if the president is going to tune in. Feel free to say if he is or not. But I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's it's an America issue. What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that, or stopping the spread of that, or sort of intervening in that? Some of that was about campaign misinformation, but it's a wider thing.
An American newspaper reporter asked, how can the president stop an interview between President Trump and Elon Musk? If they can stop an interview or even think about stopping it between the most powerful man in the world and one of the richest men in the world, it's insane. Cleve Woodson, is that his name? And the Washington Post, look at that. Democracy dies in darkness. That's their motto. And they want to turn off the lights on this interview. Karine Jean-Pierre, if she had any ability or integrity or whatever, would have thrown this guy out. Give up your press pass. That's not how we roll. Instead, she actually entertained the question.
Yeah, no, and you've heard us talk about this many times from here, about the responsibilities that social media platforms have when it comes to misinformation, disinformation. Don't have anything to read out from here about specific ways that we're working on it.
Nothing specific yet, huh? Are you going to use the FBI like you did in 2020?